So this is it, the last video lesson for Math 099. By now, you should be preparing for your final exam. You could be using the extra questions at the end of your class notes. You could be using the chapter reviews found on Pearson MyLab for extra review. You should be using your e-text. And I hope you're getting together with friends to do some studying and get a little extra help. All this talk about discriminants, I hope some of you are wondering, what does the graph of a quadratic equation look like if the discriminant is less than 0 and there are no x-intercepts? Here's an example. So let's follow these steps here. First of all, I'm asking you to find the x-intercepts if there are any. Well, clearly there aren't going to be any, but let's just verify that. We see that a is 1, b is 2, c is 4. We can just check our discriminant. B squared minus 4 times a times c. So I know if I had plugged that all into the quadratic formula, I would have the square root of -12. That tells me there is no real solution. It also tells me that there will be no x-intercepts. The next thing I ask you to find is the y-intercept. We can let x equal 0. When we do that, we see that y equals 4. Find the vertex. Now here I'm not asking you to use any specific method for finding the vertex, but let's complete the square. We need the practice. Bracket the first two terms. Leave space for our perfect square trinomial and to balance the equation. We know this is 2 times 1, so 1 squared will complete our perfect square trinomial. We just have 1 here for a, so to balance the equation, we can subtract 1. We need to factor. X plus 1 all squared plus 3 equals y. And now I can see that my vertex, the opposite of the sign on H, the same as the sign on K. So we have 2 points here. That means we could graph this already. Do we know if it's going to open up or down? I didn't ask that. Well, we see that A here is positive. So we know that it's going to open up. My vertex at -1, 3. My intercept, y-intercept at y equals 4. And using symmetry, I have a point 1 away from my line of symmetry. I have another point 1 away in the other direction. Here's a parabola that has no x-intercepts. The vertex is above the x-axis and it opens up. Well, let's put these back here. So what does that mean when we're graphing? Let's think about the possibilities. We said that the discriminant could be less than 0. That meant that there are no x-intercepts. Well, if the vertex is above the x-axis, the graph is going to open up, like this example we just saw. It had a vertex above. Since it has no x-intercepts, it has to open up. If the vertex is below the x-axis, then we see that the graph would have to open down. When the discriminant equals 0, and we have one x-intercept, the vertex will be on the x-axis. So think about that. If the vertex is on the x-axis, it could open down, or we could have a vertex on the x-axis and it could open up. But here we have the discriminant equal to 0, one solution, one x-intercept. And finally, if the discriminant is greater than 0, then we know that we will have two x-intercepts. So if the vertex is below, it's going to open up and give me two x-intercepts. If the vertex is above, the graph is going to open down and give me two x-intercepts. A lot more practice can be found in your e-text. You have the homework assignments for each of your quizzes. Good luck. I hope you've enjoyed the course.